My first look at the Tesla Model Y. Finally, we have one in Germany. These here are the Shanghai built models, already facelifted. So interesting also if you're interested in the Tesla Model Y in your market. Let's take a look at the details. Exterior wise, of course, this very streamlined Tesla front. They pay a lot of attention to the wind efficiency. And of course, it looks kind of similar like the Tesla Model 3 because they share 3/4 of the whole parts. Of course, this is here the SUV or crossover, so 1/4 is still different. At the side profile, 187 inches in length or 4,75 meters. Wheels, 19 or these here 20-inch for the long-range model. The performance model can also get 21-inch wheels. Cameras all over the vehicle, as we know from Tesla, for example, also for that Sentry function. And here in the side profile, like the Model 3 facelift, here now black door handles and also black frames around the windows to get a sporty look. And this is definitely the difference then to the Model 3. We have this higher SUV, this kind of small Tesla Model X. And this is supposed to be very successful, I think, because it really hits the spot on the market. One of the most surging segments here, these compact electric SUVs. VW ID4 GTX, which we recently had, would also be one of the main competitors here and then also now in Europe. Strong shoulder part right there. And it features a battery of 75 kilowatt hours net. And this is supposed to bring us some 500 kilometers or 300 miles of range. They did some experiments with smaller batteries, but Elon Musk canceled that again in the US because it wasn't obviously, that found of the range. So far, this 75 kilowatt hour battery. Let's see what else there is to come. Dual motor, one in the front, one in the rear. Very efficient, as we know from the Tesla Model 3. And then there's also the performance version, just with a little bit more punch. Here in the rear, you can see also again the tail lamps from the Tesla Model 3. Overall, a very streamlined look, and I think it looks definitely less bulky than the Tesla Model X in the rear. And of course, the big thing here about the Tesla Model Y, also if you compare it to the Model 3, is this huge hatch then. You can load in things easier. There's no cover then here, but you have very good access immediately. Right there, look at that. Vertical way, no problem at all. Huge box here underneath, for example, for charging cables, or you use the frunk. Of course, that's also for whatever. And I also have my measuring stick right here. This is here not exactly a meter or 40 inches, a little bit less. So this should be a little bit wider, I think. But then the overall height here is 27 inches or almost 70 centimeters. And then we have a very good folding function. Here we have some buttons here on the left side, here and here. And then they automatically fold flat. This is a very good and usable function. And to the seats, as we would be driving as tall adults, it's like 1,90 meters or 75 inches. That's actually really good. So you can, when you put things to the middle or move the seat a little bit more forward, you can score this magic 2 meters or 78 inches line. So yeah, I would say some furniture transport from IKEA or something, that does work indeed. So this is probably the reason to go for the Tesla Model Y. And if you now think about the space you have in the X, for example, yeah, you can very well score everything with that. Also ski hatch available, you can only lower the middle part, and that's also possible.
Tell me a little bit about the building quality, Tommy.
The build quality, Thomas B asked me about the build quality. Well, I checked around the vehicle so far, and I have to say the build quality actually really stepped up the game. There was one part here, for example, at the rear door with the Tesla Model 3, here, this edge here, which was very sharp a lot of times, but this has been improved here right now, for example, or also sometimes, some gaps or transitions on the inside. But so far what we see here or here, this seems all fine. Also when we close the doors, yes, this is a very German thing now. Here, the gaps right there, the famous German Spaltmaße, but this is here kind of very well aligned. So yeah, I'm really looking forward also. These are now the Chinese built models. You maybe know that in Grünheide, it's in Brandenburg, not in Berlin, it's close to Berlin. There will be the new Tesla Gigafactory. They will build the Model Y also in Germany. And then we're also really excited to see models built there, probably in 2022. Two more facts before we move to the interior. Towing capacity 1.6 tons or 3,500 pounds. That's actually quite decent for an electric vehicle at that size. And the acceleration figures, 5 seconds for the long range model, all-wheel drive to 1 kilometers an hour, or 4.8 seconds to 60 miles an hour. And the performance model, 3.7 seconds to 1 kilometers an hour, or 3.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour. And you do profit, of course, from the supercharger network and up to 270 kilowatt of fast charging. That also sounds good. We have to see about the charging curve though, so they're not the best in charging curve, but definitely the best in the supercharger network. Door handles well integrated, and then door closing sound. Yeah, it's okay, nothing special, but we also have here the, the frameless windows. By the way, here dual insulation glass. That's also good then. So yeah, you see then when we drive the vehicle how silent it is at a later stage. Soft touch top part, microfiber insert. Also soft touch here for your elbows. Then a nice wooden insert in the black interior. This is the door opener, but also here the fail-safe, the manual opener is always right here. Reasonable door pockets, and then also black Model Y entry badges. And this is the very simplistic interior we also know from the Model 3 with the steering wheel, which just has these 2 buttons, and then nice matte wood here as well. This is the black interior. It's all animal free, both steering wheel and also the seats. A high grade leatherette. It feels soft. You can easily wipe it clean, and no animals were harmed in producing this. This is the way to go. How you produce sustainable electric vehicles. You just offer this one good option, or maybe another option or so on, and there's no discussion if there is any animal part or something. This is how it's done. There is one option. You can go for the white interior, then white seats you have done here, and then this part here is more in aluminum. I would like the white seats with the wood veneer. Elon, can you do that? Tell me in the comments. So, and here with 1.86 m or how to 1.86 m or 6'1". There we go. So here, seats front, back like this. This lumbar, lumbar support. And when I move it all the way to the, lowest position, still a lot of headroom here with my size, so no problem at all. The steering wheel can always be controlled here, and like fast access steering. Then when you activate that, you swipe it up or here, in and out. So it's an easy control. And if you don't have this function activated, left side here controls the volume, and you can also just press once of the buttons, and then you get the voice activation and so on. So everything makes sense. This is really reduced, this interior, but it's really different than, for example, the new Mercedes we've seen. They also want to reduce everything and put it all in touchscreen, but here the thing is, it has a concept. It makes sense, and you are not missing so many buttons. Well, that's one thing. I really like to have manual climate unit still. Yeah, and a head-up display would be great because there are no instruments. Then a head-up display could really come handy. Difference here to the Model 3 is definitely you have this SUV upright seating position, so it will be more comfortable, especially on longer journeys than the Model 3. This would be also one of the main reasons next to that big hatch we have there in the rear. By the way, 2,151 liters, I think. Really? Let me see. 2,158 liters. Yeah, sometimes I cheat a little bit. Sometimes. Here one more look from the cockpit perspective. 15-inch screen, soon more details to that. Here in the lower part, 2 inductive charging pads with nice microfiber cover, and then you can slide one like this open, and a lot of space underneath. The cup holders are not adaptive. That's that's kind of a fail, so the bottles kind of wobble around a little bit. Then you have this armrest here with even more space underneath. Ooh, here we go. I just changed the language to English. That's why it does a new startup, but it actually goes quite quickly, and look how responsive the map is. It doesn't have to load any further, and the German premium manufacturers spend billions on their infotainment system and can't get it that responsive, like this. Yeah, that's really frustrating for the Germans, definitely. Here you can actually set everything once, I would say, of the brightness, but it's also an automatic mode for that. Steering mode if you want to have the steering wheel a little bit stiffer or a little bit more comfortable. Acceleration, rather set it to chill actually, because this car is really, really fast, and especially for co-drivers, the chill acceleration mode is better. So you set it up here once, and then that's actually it. While driving, of course, changing the temperature is a little bit complicated when you do it like this. The alternative is always to use the voice input. Set temperature to 23 degrees. There we go. Or like this. I'm warm. There we go. It goes down in temperature. So yeah, that's why you should then rather use the voice input. Still, I love manual climate knobs. That's it. Camera, a very good resolution. And also then here we have the side camera view, which we can finally use then here. So seat heating, and you can see here the energy consumption, for example, then and so on. This of course not a real figure here, so on this car hasn't run at all basically. So I think the software still really top notch. Nice detail by the way here, the frameless back mirror, actually quite elegant. Now getting towards the rear, first look. Our cameraman Thomas B will show you the back part here, and yeah, soft touch also in the rear, that's nice. And once again microfiber, so good from the build quality once again. And this is how you build electric vehicles. No no barrier there, no middle tunnel, everything is free to use. This looks really spacious, and also the same animal free high grade material here in the rear. So yeah, really looking forward. Now, how does it feel different to the Model 3? We all know that the Model 3 is not the most spacious in the rear, and yeah, this is actually really good. So you have a lot of legroom, although it's not the longest vehicle, and also headroom wise, no problem at all. And here, look at that. View through the panoramic roof. There is no shade available. It has some, sun ray filtering, yes, but still, it does get hot when you are in a very hot state or something. It just gets hot here on the inside. You have to run the AC all the time. So, some of our viewers from really hot US states, they also complain about that in the Model 3, for example. But the seating position here, definitely more comfortable than in the Model 3. And considering it's really way cheaper and smaller than the Model X, you still have kind of the same comfort in the rear, I think. You can already fold the seats in from here. That's also possible. But yeah, definitely good comfort here and a lot of space. You can move around freely. Here in the middle part, we have this huge armrest and also adaptive cup holders here. And once again, 2 USB C chargers. And it's so easy to move around here. And you can also, for example, store things here, maybe transport a plant or something here in an upright way. So very well usable interior. And this minimalism here in the interior is really calming. Some don't like and say like, that's not premium. But meanwhile, as the build quality has been improved on some, there's like another detail here, for example, these hangers here. They even have like a small clicking sound and give you some kind of feedback. So they really work on details also here. Sometimes we saw Model 3 which were not aligned quite here, and they were like, topsy-turvy like this. So you see they're really improving things bit by bit. So at the moment I'm quite positive about this. Well, this car doesn't have license plates yet, so no one could actually drive it yet here in Germany, but we wouldn't be Autogefuel if we make everything possible for you, as far as possible. So we can turn some rounds here on private ground. Here there's the good rear view camera, and also here at the sides, there's the Audi RSQ3, the other world, the combustion engine world. You can also check out this review on Autogefuel. And let's see. Here also there's, of course, the rear view camera. There we go. And also with the park beeper. And everything is very well to control, to ease. Now I have to see that don't damage the RSQ3. And once again, also helpful these other cameras there. And here, by the way, this is not an orange Tesla Model 3, it's a red one. It just appears differently on the camera. And since this is here the all-wheel drive model, 5 seconds is the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers, or 4.8 as for miles. And there are these driving modes here, chill and standard. If you have standard, there's of course always a heavy acceleration. And there's just one press on the throttle and this immediate torque. And the guys here from the Tesla store, they are having their opening internal festivities here. So this is very funny, of course, situation right now here. Yeah, very good. Sporty handling from the steering wheel. I can also do some soft off-roading here, by the way, going up this hill. And yeah, I immediately feel that this car flexes less than the Model 3, definitely. I drive a little bit slower here. Look at that, this is here Tesla Heaven Land. So many Model Y now arrived here from Shanghai, Model S right there, Model 3. Very interesting, definitely. Can't say too much about noise insulation here yet, but suspension-wise it will also of course be different because the car sets higher, but to me really the crucial thing will be the difference in the chassis material that will lead that the Model Y will maybe even be the sportier model than the Model 3, just at least felt. Because in the Model 3, quite often I felt that the chassis is just flexing underneath. So Model 3 also concept-wise and as for range and efficiency of the electric motors, really awesome. But then the driving dynamics were always better with the Germans, definitely. So this is something that might change then here with the Model Y. And I really have to say, yeah, first impression is that the chassis is definitely flexing less and it's actually quite fun to ease it here around. You can also do some parking in and out here. And this is also a thing here against the Model X. The Model X, the way bulkier model, and here it's just so much easier to park in and out at that size here. Interesting once again here, the normal natural color of the camera, and here like this, it's more like a sepia color tone or something. But here you can really see it really helps them with these additional cameras to park in and out. Well, and if you go for the chill acceleration, by the way, then it's usually the better deal, I would say, because it just puts less G-forces on your body. So on a daily basis, I would rather put it to chill. Maybe when you go for some longer autobahn rides or something, then you could, and really need the power, then you could go to this other acceleration mode. Yeah, and the Tesla folks again, they are really having a lot of fun here. I'm moderating on camera. They're enjoying, their evening beer after a big opening here of the Tesla store and our, with the Model Y here. So very interesting what's happening here with Tesla in Germany, and of course soon also the factory with the Model Y. That is, a lot of criticism also about that, about water saving and so on. This is like a big topic on its own. Maybe I should do a video on that. But already quite interesting driving impressions. What do you think? Fun fact, by the way, this is a completely new Tesla store in Dortmund, Germany, and this building here used to be a Porsche dealer. And this street here I'm standing on is called Ferdinand Porsche Street, and the street that actually leaves this area is called Gottlieb Daimler Street, like from Mercedes. So it's kind of an omen that this place, like with two German automotive street names and a former German automotive store, is now a Tesla store. I leave that conclusion to you. And now please tune in to the VW ID4 GTX video and the Audi Q4 e-tron video.